Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Smuggler and welcome to another GTA 5 video here on my channel. This is the final video of my top 20 favorite aircraft that is on GTA Online. We're going to be looking at aircraft's the top 5 of this 20 list, 20 favorite aircraft video series, or mini series you want to call it. So as always, if you like this video plus the others, feel free to drop a like and subscribe on this one and the others, and also hit that notification bell, that way you'll know when I post another video. With that out of the way, let's not waste any more time and look at aircrafts 5 through 1 of this 20 aircraft list. So for my top 5 in this top 20 list, at number 5 we have the Savage Attack Chopper. This came out during the heist update back in the day, and the reason I picked this over the Hunter is because as a single player pilot, I can pretty much use all the weapons at my disposal. Minus granted this thing doesn't have any bombs, but at least I can use the guns and I can use the Savage style rockets that keep firing no matter what. Similar to what the Hunter has. Now, when this thing did first come out, this helicopter didn't have armor. Like, one rocket would knock this thing out. But since Smuggler's Run came out, Rockstar have pretty much buffed up the armor considerably. So about 3 rockets would take this out, and 2 explosive sniper hits would take this out as well. But it's still as deadly as ever. I mean, it's not as maneuverable or as speedy as the Hunter, but with that forward exploding Gatling gun in the front, you can pretty much dominate anybody who's inexperienced with the Hunter. You can dominate those players as well. You could probably take out a jet with this if you're good enough, but this helicopter is best used for missions. This helicopter along with the Hunter can pretty much make the Buzzard obsolete. But that's the Savage Attack Chopper, my number 5 pick. So let's go look at my number 4 pick. For my number 4 pick here, we have the Mammoth Hydra, another vehicle that came out during the heist update. And the reason I put this one as my number 4 pick, I mean, granted, weaponized wise, it has the explosive cannons, it has the rockets, similar to the Laser. And the one thing this thing has over the Laser is its VTOL capabilities. This thing can hover just about anywhere, and it can take off just about anywhere, a shortcoming to the Laser. The reason I put this at number 4 is because its handling is garbage. Like, its elevators don't pivot up and down steep enough, so you're banking or diving at a higher in a higher circle than you are with a, like, say, for a Laser. It does have a higher yaw turn than the Laser, but that doesn't doesn't help it in its stats. You can take out other jets with this if they're inexperienced, but a Laser will easily take this thing out just as quick. The guns are situated on the bottom, so it does have a tight spread when firing them, so it kind of makes aiming more accurate, better, you know. And rocket wise, shoots 2 rockets before it needs to recharge, same as the other jets. Well, same as the Laser. And it's cheaper. It's cheap comparing it to the Laser when it comes out this coming Tuesday at $3 million. So that's it for the Mammoth Hydra, my number 3 pick. So let's go look at, not my number 3, my number 4 pick, I'm sorry. Now let's go look at my number 3 pick. So for my number 3 pick here, we have the Joe-built P996 Laser. This vehicle will be available to buy this coming Tuesday, and it's the last vehicle to be dropped in the Smuggler's Run update. The reason this one is my number 3 pick is because it's got exceptional maneuverability. This thing is a jet fighter. This thing can take out any any aircraft just as easily because of its maneuverability. It is far more maneuverable than the Hydra will ever be, because its elevators can pivot more steeply up or down than what the Hydra can do. The only thing this thing lacks is a VTOL mode that the Hydra has. But unfortunately, another drawback with this vehicle when it drops is that it's going to be the most expensive vehicle in the Smuggler's Run update at $6.5 million, which is a complete ripoff since this thing can only have a two-tone paint job, and that's about it. It's pretty much the same as any of the older aircraft in the game that Rockstar did an update, so you can have other stuff like countermeasures on it. But I guess having a countermeasures on the Laser or the Hydra would make this thing way too OP for people on the ground to take out. Defensive wise, it's a little bit all over the place. Anywhere between 1 and 2 rockets will knock this thing out. Same thing with the explosive sniper bullets. Depending on where you hit it, it can take anywhere between 1 to 2 shots. So yeah, I mean, this is a good vehicle to kind of rule the skies with if you know how to use it. But for $6.5 million, is, like I said, is a ripoff, especially if you own the hangar at the airbase. Since you have the hangar airbase hangar, you can practically just walk out of your hangar and steal a laser for just 2 stars. Whereas if you don't have one, you have to worry about 4 stars. So anyway, that's the oh yeah, before anything else, the gun placements are on the behind the cockpit. They do have a wider spread than the Hydras, but it's not that much of an issue, since the guns are explosive and stuff, and of course rocketry is pretty much the same as the Hydras. So anyway, that's the P996 Laser, my number 3 pick. So let's go take a look at my number 2 pick. Now for my number 2 pick here, we have the P45 Nakota. This is one of the other drip-fed vehicles from Smuggler's Run, and this vehicle just screams nostalgia in every shape or form. I mean, this is pretty much the closest thing to flying an actual P51 Mustang in real life without breaking your real life wallet to have a replica made for you. Weapon wise, it has 4 cannons, 2 on each wing. Even though the thing looks like it has 6, the 2 middle ones on each wing don't shoot whatsoever, which is kind of a disappointing, since they could have added like the middle gun to be like armor piercing rounds, or I'm not gonna go that far into explosive rounds, because then the jet would be too OP. I mean, not the jet, the plane would be too OP. It has Savage style rockets, and it does have countermeasures, so you have all that. This thing is maneuverable enough to stay behind a Hydra for that aspect. It will have some trouble with lasers, but if you're experienced enough with this plane, you can stay behind a laser and shoot it up to where it goes down. The liveries on this plane are really great, though I wish they had just one where it's the basic shark mouth with the eyes and with the insignias on it. That way we can play around with the paint. But so far this plane is really relatively good. Like I said, as long as you know how to use it properly, you can take down jets with it. But the shortcoming is that with this plane is that taxiing around the runway, or any other that stuff, the plane tends to want to like tip on its wings because of how short its wheelbase is. I mean, not in terms of height, but like in width, so it doesn't have that much of a wheel base on that. Here's a look at the cockpit, and the cockpit screams like 1940s World War II era and stuff. So that's the P45 Nakota. So let's go take a look at my number 1 pick. So I'm guessing by now it's no surprising what my number one pick is, and that's the Buckingham Pyro. Another one of the drip-fed vehicles from Smuggler's Run. And this airplane, this jet, it's a beast. This thing, everybody thought this thing was gonna be garbage in the air, but no. This thing is an absolute beast. This thing is pretty much the anti-jet griefer choice of planes to fly. This thing can take out hydras, lasers, just as easily because of its high turn radius. I mean, this thing can stay behind a laser or a hydra with relative ease. And even though the guns on this thing are not explosive, these things are powerful enough to are pretty much powerful enough to take down a hydra or laser in a matter of moments. Whereas if you're behind a laser or a hydra and you have the beat on them for a good while, one stream would knock a jet and have the jet smoking, and if you get it on them again, they're done. It does have rockets. It has salvage style firing rockets, so it makes taking out helicopters easy. And also, this thing is a oppressor killer. So if you time it just right, you can kill people on oppressors with this plane. Oh yeah, and it does have countermeasures. And its top speed trumps the Hydra and lasers. Like, yeah, it does have to build up a bit more, but this thing can overcome a laser and a Hydra in terms of high speed. And like I said, maneuverability is just way out there. Like, this thing can bank and stay behind other jets really well. It's a bit oversensitive, but once you get used to it, yeah, you can pretty much knock down one of those jets, as I mentioned. It does C2, and unfortunately, it does not have bombs, which is good because bombs, without the bombs, the thing can fly faster. And the overall design is just really well. This thing was modeled after the Vampire Mark 1, a British trainer craft that was made post World War II. Liveries are not really good, but that makes up. But the combat capabilities make that up really well. So that's it. That's my number one pick, the Pyro, and that's it for this video. So again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, please drop a like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when I upload more videos like this. If you want me to do a reveal and customization video for the laser, feel free to ask, because as of now I'm not going to do one on that, since all it is going to be a Pegasus vehicle when it comes out, and all you can do for it is a two-tone paint job. So there's nothing special about the laser when it comes out. I'm still having network issues, so live streaming is still iffy with other people, so I'm still looking into ways to fix that. But again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, again, please drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video.